before, I know the lies. I've been here before, I've seen the sky fall, the sky fall on me. The waves are coming up, they paralyze. The fear is breaking in, it's no surprise, no, but it tries though. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. No turning back. No turning back. Where do we go from here? Look in my eyes. There's a spark that we don't need to hide, no. Don't hide it, no. Yeah, bullets in the gun, we pay the price. We must overcome, it's time to rise up. Rise up. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. No turning back. No, we're not turning. Hypocrites try to get up on me. Demons come, they'll try to harm me. Try to hide, but I think they saw me. But I ain't giving up, no, no. My real friends, they all know the flaw in me. Hate to text me, can you call me? Here I go, new day upon me. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise, we rise. This is the reason we rise. This is the reason we
A sunny, warm day here in Austin, Texas, ready for racing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shake and Bake Sim TV. My name is Dwayne Crispo, also known as Vibes on YouTube, your broadcaster and commentator. And welcome to round number 2 of the Shake and Bake Cup Series, Season 3, as we tackle our first road course of the season here in Austin, Texas, at the Circuit of the Americas. One of the most challenging obstacles that the drivers will face. A ton of drivers said in practices that this was a hard challenge, this was a hard track to come by, so we'll see how they tackle it here today. They'll be running the NASCAR West layout, so not the full Grand Prix layout. They'll cut them short a couple miles. This is going to be a 2.4 mile track, 16 turns for the drivers to face off against. Sunny weather, good day for racing, and lucky for the drivers, was expected to be in the high 80s. And it will be at around 77 degrees today for the drivers. Track state has been a little bit used up at around 25%, so this will help the drivers here to get more grip on those tires. But here we go as we get set by qualifying here at COTA, the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix Round 2 here at COTA as we get set underway here with qualifying. 2 laps as always. They do have more time, however, though, here on the road courses, 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes. And one of the drivers that we have seen constantly, day after day, take on these road courses, of course, the 83 of Harold Wilson, a big road course driver.
Wait, can you still hear me?
He handles it here today.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out my radio. All good.
We'll see how Harold Wilson takes on the challenges of COTA here today. He's not the only big road course driver, though. Michael Egermont, also road course driver here today. Gino Zito not making an appearance here. So one less road course driver for the drivers to handle here against, as we'll see here as we finish off the outlap to get these drivers started with their first lap time here at COTA. And there is a ton of turns and twists in this circuit that drivers have to look forward to and have to be careful with. Of course, the most infamous one up that hill right there, the uphill turn 1, where chaos usually ensues. People have to look out for that. The S's about turn 3 through turn 6. Also, another big challenge that drivers said they face in practice. So this is looking by far the most challenging track of the schedule so far, and this is only the second race. 3 road courses in the season in total. The Chicago Street Course will be the second one in round 12 alongside the doubleheader with Chicagoland. And then the last and third one will be, of course, the infamous and legendary Watkins Glen over on round 17, the second race of the Shake and Bake Hunt, aka the postseason. Carter Brockmeyer has a first purple sector. Let's see if he can carry over to the third. A green one on second. Great exit there. Of course, these NASCAR cars not as much track limits in place as, for example, say GT3 or Formula 1. But they still gotta be very, very careful on those turn X's. And the real wheel spin as Carter goes very wide coming out of the turn. That's going to affect his lap time a little bit there. Who has the provisional pole after lap 1 of qualifying done? Michael Egermont has a purple sector. Number 2, Harold Wilson for minute and 42. What does Carter have? I think actually that was his outlap. Braden Barlow has some damage. And so far, Harold Wilson is the only one to set a lap time. Carteroy had a purple sector in the first one. Michael Egermont, as we said, the other road courser, all the way to provisional pole. Jaden Newson goes up to P2, boots down Harold Wilson the third. Charlie Jones on to fourth. But what a lap time for Egermont. 1:40. Oh, and he has to bail out of the second S's. Oh, and he cannot complete the second lap. But provisional pole so far, only 4 on the board. Still 6 drivers to go. If they can get a lap time in. Harold Wilson here on this second lap, trying to get it improved to go all the way to pole position. Will he be able to find his rhythm here? It's a green first sector, a yellow second one. What will be the third? Harold Wilson all the way to the line. Carter Roy goes up to 4th. Bumps down Jones to 5th. Harold Wilson across the line. Only able to manage 2nd. Egremont still holds the provisional pole. Here's Colby Luca in the number 4. Had a great finish last week at the Daytona 250. And this is a big shift from Daytona, from a super speedway all the way down to potentially the trickiest road courses that NASCAR has ever been on track on. So this is a very big shift for the drivers. And of course, after this, we'll have our first bye week, and then go on to round 3, which will be Phoenix, followed by Las Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and Charlotte. Five drivers still not on the board here at qualifying. Luca is one of them. He has a yellow sector so far on both of them. Kyle Hendershaw manages to go only 6. It's a 2-minute lap for him. What does Luca have in store here? First lap being put on the board. Or was that his out lap? I believe he wasn't able to get another lap done, so that will not count. So far, it's Egremont, Wilson, and Newson, Roy, Jones, and a Hendershaw. Egremont still with that 1 minute and 40-second lap. Still on provisional pole. Brockmeyer hasn't had a lap time. Hendershaw currently on his 2nd, and Luca going for the first lap time on the board. Barlow had a wreck. He was shown the meatball flag. He was not able to set up a lap time, and neither was Thornhill. And Brockmeyer still not on the board. Luca and Hendershaw are the only ones out here on track, so they're the only ones that can potentially take away the pole position of Michael Egremont here. And Hendershaw and Luca look to be side by side here. What does Hendershot have in place? Also, keep an eye out on the track for these car schemes. A lot of good paint schemes here tonight. Common Motorsports looking for a synchronized look between all his drivers. Let's see, Kyle Hendershot, what does he have on the board? Can it be enough to at least get up to Jones? Yes, it will. Up to P5, and Luca all the way to P4. And that is the best that they can manage, and that will be the end of qualifying by the looks of things. Michael Egremont on pole position for the first time in the Shake and Bake Cup Series. We said road course was his expertise. Well, there's proof of it right there. Let's take a look here and see if the drivers are good to move on here.
Yep.
And we are good to go here to kick off the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix. What a lap time by Michael Argamon. 1:40 on pole position he goes. We'll see if he can turn that pole position into his first ever race win here of the Cup Series. We'll take a look here again on the starting grid in just a minute. There we go, 2.4 mile track, 16 turns. We're gonna have 48 laps of racing around the NASCAR West layout of Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. This is gonna equate to 114 miles. Remember, road course means local cautions are gonna be relied more on, so it's gonna be a rare chance that we see a full course caution get thrown out here today unless a big incident does happen. But without further ado, let's get this show on the road here. Round 2 of the Shake and Bake Cup Series Season 3. And away we go here with the pace car. How excited Argamon has to be here. Let's take a look and see if we can get on board with him here really quickly. Michael, this is Dwayne up here at the commentary booth. Do you have a copy?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I got you. Michael, your first pole position here in the Shake and Bake Cup Series. And what a surprise. It is going to be at a road course. How do you feel taking on your first pole position?
Honestly, I took that lap way slower than I thought I should have, to be honest. The lap time kind of surprised me. I was expecting like a 44 something. Fuck it, we ball.
Alrighty, good luck trying to take on that pole into a race win. Here we go, getting ready to go racing here from Circuit of the Americas. Pace car rolls off. Let's see who will be our second driver of the season to go into victory lane. Pace car is off. And we are green. Hirakota, let's go. And here comes the tricky start here. The uphill turn 1. Can everyone get by safely here? Luca looking to the inside. Big inside move there by Newson. Everyone gets by pretty safely. It's going to be 3 wide going into turn 2. Already getting some racing action here as we take on the S's. Harold Wilson off the track. Oh, an incident in the back. Harold Wilson off the track. Devin Thornhill involved in it. We stay green. It was at the back of the pack. Side by side, Brockmeyer and Hendershot here. Oh, hit by Carter. That was Braden Barlow actually going to the back of Hendershot. Teammate on teammate contact. Charlie Jones out in the back spinning around. Like we said, this was not gonna be an easy race for these drivers to handle. But the top 3 looking steady so far. Jaden Newson, the Cookout Clash winner at North Wilkesboro, looking to take on the 2 Chevys here of Taser Racing. Colby Luca, I believe he was the Daytona 250 runner-up after just barely losing the win there last week to Heath Williams. And lap 1 of the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix officially completed here in Austin. But it was definitely not really the most safe. There were some drivers that unfortunately faced off against the sand, against the gravel, and went spinning in the back. Harold Wilson here, P5. Brockmeyer follows behind. Carter Roy all the way to P4. And the track is at about 25% wear-wise, which will give more grip to these drivers as Egerman goes a little bit wider than he intended. But as I was saying, that track state is going to help out the drivers a lot. They were struggling with grip with no track state over at 0%. So it was a very hard challenge for them. We'll see what happens. Kyle Hendershot went out there at the back. And he'll have to go into pit lane as Egerman once again wide. Going out of the turn, still stays ahead. It looked like Luca also went a little bit wider there than expected. But here he comes into the inside on turn 1. Can he keep it going? Egerman faces into the sand. And Luca and Newson go through. A wide turn 1 for Egerman. And the sand will get you. And now the Ford of the 78 of Newson, sandwiched in between Taser Racing Chevys. Oh, lockup for Michael Egerman in the back. Going into the cut out of the regular Grand Prix layout. As there's Harold Wilson. This is going to be a battle for P4. Egerman once again now starting to struggle on those turns. That's his second lockup. And Carter Roy and Harold Wilson will now move by to push him all the way to P5. Wilson will take an attack down the inside on the 21 of Carter Roy. This is going to be a battle for the top 3 spot. Still side by side here going into the turn. Oh, Carter Roy goes spinning. In a big maneuver there by Brockmeyer to not get hit by the 21. Oh my goodness. Spins, lockups into the sand. What have we not had so far here at Coda? And that was only lap 4. It's going to be a battle for the lead here. Newson and Luca. There's Harold Wilson and Michael Egerman in the back. And Newson is tasting the lead already for that number 4. Braden Barlow coming into pit lane. He had some issues alongside Kyle Hendershot. With the spin of Carter Roy, Egerman back onto P4. We'll see if he can go back all the way to the race lead where he was. But let's pay our attention here. At the front, Luca goes wide, the same turn that everyone has been struggling with, and Jaden Newson now takes a free pass, sees the mistake, and says, "Thank you very much. I will gladly go to the race lead here." Drivers heavily relying on mistakes here tonight to get those overtakes in. Look at the big run there by the number 2. Oh, and Harold went a little bit too wide for his liking. So did Egerman. Oh boy. Uphill to turn 1. Contact. Hit the bumper there of the 83. More action here in the back. There's Carteroy, P5. Brockmeyer following behind. He lost a ton of pace there. Thornhill was involved in a wreck earlier as he spun out. How much can we keep it going here? Harold Wilson has a yellow flag being displayed, which has just vanished. It looked like he went and had a taste of the sand as well, like Egerman did a couple laps ago. And you can see now that sand starting to get on the track here. That's gonna make up just a tiny bit of debris there for the drivers. As our two road course experts, currently P3 and 4, trying to catch up to the leaders. Egermont goes off on that turn, still manages to recover somehow, some way, and he goes wide again. Struggling to get that kart handled there on those turns. Up the hill we go. Harold Wilson, though, slowly but surely closing the gap there on Luca and Jaden Newson. As you can see, they're shaving time there. And look at all of that sand there on the cutoffs section of the Grand Prix layout, making up tons of debris on that turn. There's most likely will be a yellow and red striped flag being displayed there for the debris. And look at it even there. Sand everywhere here as Jaden Newson goes for a spin. Luca has to avoid it. And this is going to give Harold Wilson the opportunity to catch up here a little bit. Newson spins by himself, and Kobe Luca is back on the race lead. Just when you think that things could not get crazier. Leaders already spinning on their own. We're going to have a long, long race ahead of us, folks. "75 degrees currently on track. Not as hot as it was during practice. About in the high 80s, almost 90s when they were in their private practices. Newson not giving it up just yet. Still trying to hunt down that number 4 of Colby Luca after he did his spin there. And can he capitalize it here? Side by side they go. Newson trying to get the lead back. Will he have it? On the inside, Luca goes wide, and the 78 goes through. And you can see the 83 there lurking behind. Constantly shaving off time here. Harold just trying to shave off as much time as possible. There's Egermont in the back. He has lost the 83. So Harold will catch up to these two. And we're already going into lapped traffic on lap number 8. On board for Colby Luca, Harold Wilson just set the fastest lap of the race with 1:40 minutes. Here's Colby Luca there trying to catch up to the 78. Back markers are now going to become an issue for these leaders. That's a great corner exit there for the number 4. Can he capitalize here? Go spinning! And can Harold capitalize here and take P2? Yes, he will. Harold Wilson through Barlow as well on to P2, and now he focuses himself on Jaden Newson. Charlie Jones there making up another back marker. And he gets past Jones smoothly. Luca here. Michael Egermont back in it side by side, looking for a top 3 spot. And this would be a great victory for the 83. Harold Wilson has not tasted victory lane since Watkins Glen Season 1. Oh, and Braden Barlow there into the sand. Egermont, also big hit by Braden Barlow there into the wall, coming to the line, and Michael Egermont will get past the number 4 of Luca. Egermont is back into the top 3. Oh, and he goes wide out of turn 1. He had the position, and now he's going to have to rebuild it all over again, and there's now even more sand on track. There is a lot of sand, a lot of debris there on the uphill turn 1. And we focus our attention here on Harold Wilson. Again, he has not tasted victory. He has not gone a victory lane. Since Watkins Glen Season 1, he was deemed Mr. Consistency last season. Made it all the way to the Championship 4. Unfortunately fell short at the championship race in Homestead. But he has been itching to get back on victory lane. Is today the day that he is able to do it and run it back. Jaden Newson, of course, looking for his first win of Season 3 here. He got the exhibition race win at North Wilkesboro at the Clash. We'll see if he can turn that into a points-paying race win here in the regular season. Harold Wilson can capitalize here. Newson went a little bit too wide there going into turn 16. It will all go down here going into the uphill. And gotta be careful here. A ton of debris on that exit. Look at all the sand there on the right-hand side of that corner. Carter Roy all the way into P3 now. Carter Brockmeyer P4 as well. Colby Luca P5. Michael Egermont got involved in an incident. And here is what happened with Egermont. Oh, just loses it. And there's damage on the front of that car, and he just goes on and sends it onto pit road. So Egermont out of the race, it seems. He was doing very good. He had a potential race win. He got the pole position. But something has happened here, both with Michael Egermont and the number 4 of Kobe Luca, both out of the race. We'll see if the drivers say anything up here to race control to take a look at it. Newson still in the lead. Harold Wilson trying to hunt him down. Carter Roy and Brockmeyer are the only ones left on the lead lap. Davin Thornhill a minute away from being lapped. And Charlie Jones, Barlow, and Hendershot all still a lap down. Oh, and Harold goes spinning just as he was catching up to the 78. And he's going to have to rebuild that all over again. Oh, man. The thing that he did not want it to happen, unfortunately happens there on the cutoff turn. And now he is 7 seconds away from the lead. Oh, all that work now being reset. And Jaden Newson now sits comfortably in the race lead here. There's Carterway in P3. He went a little wide there. Carter Brockmeyer, Charlie Jones there in the back. There's Jaden Newson all the way up there in the race lead. I believe he will have some back marker traffic here coming in. As he goes wide on turn 1, he's going to catch up some sand here. Gets very loose, but manages to keep it going. And we'll see what happens here. 12 laps down. There's Thornhill there on Hendershot. Makes the move. Hendershot goes wide on the cutoff turn, and Thornhill is through here. As he is trying his best to not get lapped by Jaden Newson, who was just inches away from making that yet again another car lapped there. Only 4 cars remain on the lead lap. This has turned into chaos. And we said this, we expected this to happen. The hardest challenge that the drivers have faced and are probably gonna face of this season already taking effect as Harold Wilson, a little bit of Tokyo Drift action there. Oh, it's still going, and this time he doesn't manage to save it and keep it going. As we unsettle this chaos here, let's take a ride with Jaden Newson of the 78 here with some crank it up action presented by Logitech. Take it away. What a chaotic amount of action we've had here. About a quarter of the way done. A little bit over a quarter of the way done. And drivers still finding it difficult to maneuver that car around. 4 drivers on the lead lap. And only one so far looks to be being a real contender. But what a chaotic event this has been. And we are still not even halfway done. Carter Brockmeyer there attacking Carter Roy. This is going to be a battle for P3. Both Carters going to fight it out here for a top 3 spot. We'll see which Carter prevails. Up top as Brockmeyer goes for a spin. He keeps it going, but that is a ton of momentum lost. And Carter Roy speeds away. As we were talking about it, that's the commentator curse right there. Brockmeyer going to try to regain some momentum here to take on that 21. Look at all the sand there. And all the gravel. Tons of debris on the track. Not just on that turn, but around the whole track overall. Here that is the Grand Prix cutoff corner. Brockmeyer still doing a very good job of trying to handle that Toyota all the way around. The only Toyota today on the field here. But he said that he is going to try his best without teammates today. He's going to try to work with Harold Wilson, who also doesn't have a teammate here today. It's going to be a tough challenge. The only Toyota on the field for RBA Racing, and the only Chevy on the field for Bottom Split Bandits, of course, Harold Wilson, Gino Zito. Another road course driver not on track here today. None of the Jet Lucky Motorsport Fords on track here today either. But we'll probably see him on track 2 weeks from now at Phoenix as Carter Roy locks up going out of turn 16. And Brockmeyer is going to come into pit road. Those tires were taking a beating in the 62. Now number 20. Gonna go into pit road here. And Carter Roy is gonna be all alone for the P3 spot. There's Kyle Hendershot. 3 laps down, but Harold Wilson is slowly picking up speed here as Jaden Newson spins out. And Harold Wilson is your new race leader. Newson, the second error of the day on the race lead, spins all of his own. And Wilson takes, I believe, the first or second race lead of his day. Newson here going to see if he can get some help from Hendershot, who is 3 laps down, but oh, just another unfortunate self-spin by the 78. And it looked there like he was a little hesitant. Maybe he was trying to go into pit road, but it was too late for him as he passed the commitment cone. How many more laps can these tires endure before you have to come in onto pits? And we'll see Newson here try to take on the 83 of Harold Wilson. Went to the cutoff turn. Newson closing the gap. He wants his race lead back and fast. There's Carter Brockmeyer in the back. He unfortunately is a lap down after he went onto pit road. Davin Thornhill caught spinning again. A little bit more laps before we are halfway done here in this EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix at COTA. Charlie Jones is going to go into pit road. I believe it's going to be his second entry into pit road. And this is how all of the stints so far have been looking. Newson will not enter pit road yet, as he still continues to hunt down Harold Wilson. Wilson and Newson haven't gone to pit road. Carter Roy hasn't gone onto pit road. Brockmeyer has gone once. Thornhill, I'm surprised Thornhill hasn't gone on the pit road yet either. Barlow there, Charlie Jones taking his first dip into pit road. Kyle Hendershot on his third. Luca and Egermont still have no word on what happened. But this was a tough break for them. Egermont was doing very good. So was Luca. And I still have no idea what happened. We'll probably get a word of what occurred to them post-race. It looks to me like it was connectivity issues. And you always hate to see that. Newson, the gap is no longer there. We're going to have a battle for the lead here between the 83 and the 78. And Jaden Newson is going head-to-head here with the road course expert of Harold Wilson. Newson looking like a road course expert himself. On turn 16. Oh, Wilson gets loose. Here comes Newson down the inside. They're going to be side by side going to the uphill on turn 1. Newson's going to have the inside here. What can Harold do? Up the hill. Wilson going to try to go for the switcheroo. He won't be able to get it. Goes wide off the exit, and Jaden Newson is back on the race lead. Harold looked like he tried to defend it, but it wasn't there. He's still not done, though. Coming out of the S's here. Still a close fight between these two who have been putting on a show. And now it's going to be side by side. Harold looking for the lead again. He's going to be round the outside. Still side by side. These two are not giving up that spot. What can they do here? Newson remains ahead. As we go here with on to 29 to go. None of these have pitted so far. Who will be the first one to take a dip into pit road? If they do whatsoever. And now back markers are going to become a thing yet again. Oh, and contact! Contact between Wilson and Newson there. 83 got at the back of the 78 just a tiny bit. It looks like the 83 is the faster car. Here's Braden Barlow, who is 3 laps down. Gonna remain on the outside. That was a big corner exit by Wilson. Looks like he's gonna have the momentum here. We'll see what he can do with it. Still a battle for the race lead. Here we have about 5 to go before we are halfway done. Barlow goes spinning in the back. Carter Roy still on the lead lap. Great performance by him so far. Owen Harold goes spinning out of turn 15, goes the 83. And all that momentum gone once again for Mr. Wilson. Is going to be back to a 6-second gap. And we will have 4 laps to go till the halfway point. Sand still there on the track, and not as bad as it was earlier. But of course, still there causing some debris. Here is Carter Roy, who has been silent ever since he has gone onto the top 3. He's trying his best to finish. Carter Brockmeyer now coming out of the Grand Prix cut corner. Davin Thornhill, lap down, suffered many spins, unfortunately. Braden Barlow, same thing. Charlie Jones, same thing. Kyle Hendershot, 3 laps down. A ton of spins that have caused people some time and some laps as Wilson goes wide once again over the DRS sign. NASCAR track limits is like my dad, not there, Jesus. That's NASCAR for you. No track limits whatsoever on road courses. It is pretty wicked to see, especially those that are not familiar with NASCAR and are fans of GT3 and Formula 1, etc., reacting to this. Track limits is a whole different story here in America. Carter Roy gonna take his first dip into pit road from P3. None of the top 2 have pitted yet. Newson hasn't gone, Wilson hasn't gone. And those pit stops are definitely going to be the deciding factor of this race. Thornhill is also going to go into pit road. It's going to be his second stop. Carter Roy trying to get back out here before the leaders can. Obviously, a caution here does not seem likely, but it is best to always try and stay on the lead lap as much as you can. And Carter Roy is going to come out of pit lane as Newson and Wilson are driving by. And it looks like he will remain on the lead lap. Great stop for Roy. Great stop for Thornhill as well, although he is a lap down. And Harold Wilson definitely proving to be the faster car. Already 3-second gap after he was 6 seconds behind because of the spin. That 83 is moving the chains on that Chevrolet, and he's going to cut the corner there. I believe he's going to get a slowdown as he cut part of the S's. That will be one of the few cases of track limits that we'll see here today. Oh, and Newson goes wide out of the corner. Harold Wilson on the move. 3-second gap between him and the 78. As we are about to go to the halfway point with 24 to go after this one lap and the next one at 25 to go. Still no takers for both of the top leaders here. Davin Thornhill there slowly starting to also move the chains on that number 5 Chevy. Has been very quiet today. Unfortunately, spins have ruined his momentum quite a lot of times. He is going to be a lap down here. Or 2 laps down, I should say. But he has been trying his best again. What a challenge that has been. Oh, Kyle Hendershot going into the grass there, out of the S's. As the sun, once again, just like qualifying, slowly starting to set here. Cloudy skies starting to covering them up. Braden Barlow goes into pit road again. This is going to be his 4th stint, I believe. Oh, and Thornhill, another spin, another wide turn exit there. But Harold Wilson, now a 2-second gap. Back up to 3 just now. He's there. All he needs is to keep that consistency on those turns. Again, Mr. Consistency last season. And it was for a reason. Oh, Jaden Newson going into pit road for the first time. Does Wilson follow? No, he will not. We have a new race leader yet again. Jaden Newson takes his first dip onto pit road the entire race as we reach the halfway point officially. 24 laps to go here. Harold Wilson gonna stay out on track here. When will he come into pit road? Jaden Newson finally took the bait. Braden Barlow has a penalty. I believe that was for speeding on pit road when he came into the pits a lap ago. Harold Wilson looked like he got loose there coming out of the turn. And look at that debris out of that turn there. I believe that's turn 8. My goodness. Wilson takes a dip to the inside here. Charlie Jones will go yet another lap down here, and Braden Barlow will come into pit road to serve his speeding penalty. Carter Roy, quiet all race, now coming across the line, and here's when he comes in. Harold Wilson goes on the pit road for the first time. Now we'll see how this affects the race lead. Wilson coming in, and Jaden Newson is very quickly approaching here. I wish there was a way to set up the dual screen so we can see both POVs here. Newson trying to get over to the 83 before he can finish his stop. There's of course going to be 4 tires going on that Chevy. Who's going to get out first? Wilson now comes out of pit road, and Jaden Newson is the one who's going to lead back here at the EchoPark Grand Prix. And it will be a 6-second gap. It is a larger gap than when Newson came in onto pit road. It was a 2-second gap for Wilson. Now it's a 6-second gap. But we've seen him overcome this deficit time and time again. Today, it will be no shock or surprise if he manages to do it again for, I believe, a 4th time. There's Brockmeyer Jones. Thornhill action here in the back. We'll see how we do this. Let's take some closer look here. Action in the back as the sun starts to go up once again. Jones, Brockmeyer, Thornhill. Here comes Newson. Trying to get past all of those cars, and there's contact! Davin Thornhill involved in it. Can he get back? Harold Wilson takes the lead here. Wow! Jaden Newson, contact with Thornhill. Back markers making issue here for the leaders. Oh, and contact again! Thornhill into the wall. And he is stopped on track. That could be a caution. He is stopped on track, but he will keep it going here. Unbelievable. No full course caution just yet. Newson and making his way back up here. Gets past Jones, and we'll see this battle for the lead once again, like we've seen this whole race. Take a replay at the contact once again by Newson and Thornhill. 22 laps to go here. Oh my goodness. Let's take a replay here at what happened with Newson. Newson is pushing the needle on that Ford machine. I don't think I want to go to replay now. I want to see how this plays out here. It's a 1-second gap between the 83 and the 78. Oh my. Here is the quick replay of what happened with Newson and Thornhill just threading the needle too much. Side by side, Thornhill clips him. And then we had the incident afterwards Thornhill goes wide. Newson just trying his best to catch up here to Wilson and just absolutely turns the number 5. There's Carter Brockmeyer. He's been on the lead lap. Never naturally went a lap down. The reason why he went the lap down in the first place was because he entered pit road. He has been P4 almost the whole race. And it looks like the lead lap reign of the number 20 is going to come to an end here. Harold Wilson to the inside on turn 1. And he will get it done. Brockmeyer will go a lap down. The two lone wolves of their respective teams there. As Newson tries to push the needle there. Brockmeyer also pushing the needle there. He wants to go back on a lead lap. We'll have some 4-car action here going to the Grand Prix cutoff. Newson past Barlow, past Brockmeyer. And he is right there on the 83 now. "20 laps to go." Out of turn 16, and we're going to have 19 laps to go here. Laps slowly starting to count down. Carter Roy is going to go a lap down here as he takes the second dip into pit road. Will Brockmeyer get the pass here? I believe he is a lap down on him still. This could be a move up in position for Brockmeyer. There's Carter Roy, who went very wide on turn exit. This is going to be a battle for P3 here with Brockmeyer and Roy. And of course, still the battle for the lead here between Newson and Harold Wilson here. The two Carters versus the two that have been absolutely driving their ass off. Let's take our second visit here with some Crank It Up action presented by Logitech. Take it away here.
Dwayne, bro, I just got a meatball. This is ridiculous, man.
Oh, and there's trouble in the 78.
This is just straight ridiculous.
Jaden Newson has damage. What happened there? Oh, and he has wheel damage. It happened on the S's. He went out of the S's there to
Dwayne, this is not acceptable.
And Jaden Newson has damage. We'll see what happened. What just happened to the 78? Trying to go back and see what happened to the 78 there. Was there contact? And it was contact with Charlie Jones. This is the replay. There's Jones. There's Newson. And he just goes straight into him, and there's wheel damage on that 78. And he was shown the meatball flag. Oh my. Newson is gonna come into pit road. It was contact between Jones and Jaden Newson. What exactly happened there? Who is at fault there? That is a wild, wild thing. As we're gonna try to take a closer look here at the replay. So Newson and Jones going into the S's. It did look like Jones was trying to get him by. And here is the replay once again. Newson just trying to get by here on Charlie Jones. Jones trying his best to hold there to let him by. That's tough to tell there. Obviously, Newson trying to go for the turn there, going and turning into the inside. It looked like Jones, even though he was holding his line, it looked like he was going up to the left side there a little bit into the 78. It just looks like both cars just straight up go into one another. That is a very, very unfortunate thing for both of the drivers, especially Newson, who was on the lead lap. I believe he still is. And there is a ton of damage there. Oh my. Harold Wilson now has a free open shot all the way to the checkered flag. Unless of caution is involved here. Thornhill into the grass again. Race control is going to have a discussion with officials after the race to determine that. That could be a potential penalty for future races for either one of the drivers. We'll see what happens. But I can almost guarantee that there will be a talk between officials on that incident there between the 78 and the number 3. Could be a potential penalty for the number 3. We'll see. Newson, though, got the fast repair done. He will try his best to bring that 78 all the way back. Carter Brockmeyer going off there on turn 15. My goodness. $14 laps to go. Still no full course caution that has been in place. As Jaden Newson trying his best to get up all the way to the 83. Got a little loose there out of 15. Approaching the 64 of Kyle Hendershot, 5 laps down. But nonetheless, still continuing, still going. That deserves a ton of respect there. The hustle from the 64 still going despite the laps down. Carteroy going to take a dip to the inside on his teammate going to turn 1, and he will get the pass there as he remains inside the top 3. Charlie Jones, there's Carter Brockmeyer. Thornhill behind him. Taser Racing having a unfortunate event here today. Michael Eggermont looked to be the fastest of Taser Racing here today. And again, I don't know what happened with Luca, what happened with Eggermont. There goes Thornhill yet again. And there's Jaden Newson, trying to get back and get past all of these cars to try and somehow catch up to the 83, who is the only car on the lead lap. A caution here. Obviously, we haven't seen a caution in almost 30 laps. But a caution here can be a very interesting change to this race. Newson past Thornhill. Here he goes, trying to make a move here on the number 3, the one he had contact with that sent him to pit lane to get repairs done. And this time he will get past on the 3 smoothly. And now he has Brockmeyer and Barlow up front. 12 laps to go as we begin the final countdown to what has been a chaotic and, let's just say, interesting race here at Circuit of the Americas. Barlow goes wide. Newson gonna go around his teammate and to try and catch up to his former rival of Season 1. Up to Brockmeyer, who is P4. And to the S as we go. slowly closing the gap there on that number 20. Harold Wilson, of course, still in the lead. If you're Harold here, you would probably start cruising here a little bit as Bruckmeyer goes off onto the sand. Managed to rejoin safely, no caution there. There's going to be a penalty on pit road for Kyle Hendershot for speeding on pit lane. And we will have 10 laps to go. Here's Harold Wilson closing in on Charlie Jones. Again, the 83 has not tasted victory lane since Watkins Glen Season 1. It has been a whole season since we've seen him on victory lane, and it looks like today will be the day that he has gone back to the place he's been wanting to be at for a very long time. Past Charlie Jones, he's going to cut the S's here. He is going to get a slowdown. Oh, and there's trouble. Braden Barlow goes spinning there on the S's. Managed to recover pretty well. As Wilson just continues to hunt down the rest of the drivers. And I believe he does still have the best lap. Yes, he does. Harold Wilson, fastest lap of the race. Still in his name with 1 minute and 40 seconds with 80.82 as we reach the final 10 laps here. There he is, approaching Davin Thornhill. Look at all of that debris. There's debris all over this racetrack. 9 to go. There's Hendershot there on the S's. Harold Wilson quickly approaching Davin Thornhill here. There's going to be Thornhill 4 laps down. And it will be. Wilson moving the chains to be one step closer to sweet, sweet victory. And I mean, you gotta feel it for Jaden Newson after the contact with Charlie Jones. It initially didn't look that bad. But then we saw the wheel damage, we saw the right side damage, got the meatball flag, and that meatball flag was the last uppercut that 78 Ford needed. Fortunately, he did have one of the fast repairs in hand. Drivers had 2 available today. So he definitely did use that up there. And you could see his frustration on the radio. We'll have a talk about it, post-race interviews, and of course with the officials post-race. So how we do this, post-race, we'll gather all of the admins. We'll have the final say in it, and we'll see if anyone has a penalty for next race in Phoenix 2 weeks time, as next week will be our first bye week out of 3. Oh, and there's contact. That's Kyle Hendershaw, who went off track and had contact with Harold Wilson. And he had to cut the S's there. He did get a slowdown. But that could have been very, very dangerous for the 83 there. Could have been the same nuisance scenario there with 8 laps to go. Newson, however, still is on the lead lap, which is very impressive here. Alrighty. As we approach here, 7 laps to go. Let's go on board here with the 83 for our one and final Crank It Up segment here, presented by Logitech. Take it away. Welcome on back here to action here at Coda. 5 laps to go as Harold Wilson trying to thread the needle here for the final closing laps of this race. And what a drive it has been for him. Multiple battles up front with Jaden Newson. And of course on the very early stages of this race with Kobe Luca and Michael Eggermont as well. Fortunate for Newson there, suffering contact with Charlie Jones, and I believe at about 19-ish laps to go, about 20-ish laps to go. And suffered the maple flag to come into pit road to repair those damages. Was able to do it quickly with one of his fast repairs, but it ultimately got him out of contention here at Coda. As the final laps are among us, Harold Wilson here closing on Carter Brockmeyer. That big turn exit, I believe that has 100% been one of, if not the best turn slash corner for Harold Wilson this race. The amount of speed that he gets on that corner exit is insane. Best lap time so far, no one has been able to beat the number 83, still holding that lap time of 1 minute and 40 seconds. So although he did not grab pole position, looking to be a race win, and the fastest lap of the race was just pole position away from the first max points of season 3 and the second max points ever, which are a little easier to accomplish now that of course stages are gone. We'll see who will be the first one to accomplish the max points here in the new Season 3 system and moving forward. Feel like stages definitely, you know, points and everything is good, but no stages adds more to the strategy. We get more green flag racing. I'd say it was definitely the move going forward without them. I've said this argument a million times. They should also remove them in actual NASCAR, but it is what it is. We at least got the chase back, so we can't really be complaining as there's a car on track there. That is Braden Barlow. He will be out of the track surface there, so it will be relatively safe if he can keep this going here, which he will. So no caution thrown for that matter, of course. This will be a cautionless race here at Coda. Of course, there were multiple local cautions, but no full course cautions in play. Well, here we go. Final stages. What a move by Brockmeyer there to overtake Charlie Jones. And here we go. 4.8 miles away from seeing that 83 Chevy of Bottom Split Bandits on victory lane. What a chaotic race this has been, obviously. This was by far going to be going down as one of the hardest challenges we've seen in the history of the Shake and Bake Cup Series. I'd say this is decent second place. I'd say this go below number 1 Nothing, however, will beat the utter chaos that was Season 1 Bristol. Oh boy. If you were there for that and you remember, that was the Wreckfest would be a much easier word to use for that, as Carter Brockmeyer there out of the turn manages to recover. Here we go. We're gonna come into the final turns here. And his eyes are set. Out of turn 16. It will be white flag, this time by. 1 to go here at the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix, sponsored by 213 Simware. 2.4 miles of track left before we see the 83 Chevy of Bottom Split Bandits on victory lane. Turn into the owner of Bottom Split Bandits on the off season of season 2 after Carter Brockmeyer moved teams to join the Chevys, gave the ownership to Harold Wilson, who of course rebranded into what now is Bottom Split Bandits. But what a drive it has been for Harold Wilson. Mr. Consistency of Season 2, multiple top 3 finishes last season. But he will finally see the light of day that he's been wanting to see ever since Season 1 last year at around May, when this driver hit victory lane for the first time. Ever since then, he has been aching for it. And now here at COTA, around the final turns, he will accomplish it. And for the first time since Watkins Glen, he will see the taste of victory lane and the checkered flag once again. Harold Wilson wins at Circuit of the Americas in dominant fashion. You love to see it. What a sight to see. After 2 seasons worth of trying his best to get back to the top, he gets to burn that car down once again. This is gonna be his second ever race win of the Shake and Bake Cup Series. Of course, like we said multiple times, his first race win since Season 1 Watkins Glen. There's Brockmeyer giving him that love tap. The first race win for Bottom Split Bandits since Gino Zito's win in Talladega last season. And what a drive he has put. Completely deserves the win. And he gets to burn it down after all this time. Harold Wilson, your Circuit of the Americas race winner here tonight. There's the love tap by Thornhill. Obviously, he has gained massive respect from his drivers and his peers. You can tell that they're excited for it. And he is gonna burn that down. And look at everyone joining in. And he's gonna park it. That's a blown engine for that 83. That is a blown engine for the 83. Too much partying went on up there. But there it is. Let's go over your unofficial results here at Circuit of the Americas. What a race this was. And it was certainly a chaotic one. Here is your race results for today. What a race this was. Harold Wilson, your race winner here at Circuit of the Americas. His first win in a while. Back on victory lane goes the 83. Jaden Newson finishing strong P2 finish here at COTA. Carter Roy with a great top 3 finish here. And it's Carter Brockmeyer, Davin Thornhill rounding off the top 5. Then it's Braden Barlow, Charlie Jones, Kyle Hendershot, Michael Egermont, and Colby Luca with both DNFs. We'll get what happened to them in just a little bit as we head into the post-race interviews. And here is how the points shape up after round 2 at COTA. Harold Wilson all the way from P7 in the standings to the lead of the championship. 86 points for him. He's going to have roughly about a 20-point, 18-point advantage over Colby Luca in P2. Then it's Jaden Newson in 3rd. Barlow all the way up into P4. He gains a spot. Carter Brockmeyer gains multiple spots alongside Thornhill and Roy. Heath Williams moves all the way down. Michael Egermont and Charlie Jones moving up. And of course, big impact on those who did not participate today. Let's take a look here. Let's go into our post-race interviews. And I'm sure these drivers had a lot to say here. As let's take on your first driver here at the post-race interviews. Let's bring him up, of course. Harold Wilson, your race winner here at COTA. Let's bring him up. Harold, can you hear us? All right, let's see it here.
I got you, man.
There you go. Harold, after a long awaiting drought, after Watkins Glen in Season 1, your second race win of the Cup Series has finally arrived here at COTA. What are your thoughts going back to victory lane?
Man, what a race. I hate that Jaden got taken out back there. We were racing hard. Every bumper, he'd slow down a little bit too much, and I'd overbrake, and I'd spin it, and I'd catch back up. Man, that was a thriller, those few laps there.
And obviously, is this going to be a new look that we see for Harold Wilson? Obviously, you're Mr. Consistency. There's Gino Zito, his teammate, showing some love there. But you were deemed a Mr. Consistency last season with no wins on Season 2. Now, not only did you get your first win of the season, but you shoot up all the way into the lead of the championship. Is this what we can expect from Harold Wilson this season?
I hope to keep it up there, man. I gotta catch my breath. My wife turned on the heat to take a shower. I'm about to burn up over here.
Well, nonetheless, great effort
But
for
yeah, I hope to
you.
keep it up front all season, so I ain't got to worry about it.
Alrighty, nonetheless, great effort for you. Great win. Is there any shoutouts that you would like to do?
I'd like to give a shout out to Chris Safe Right, Seawalker, Will, JJ Feely. He taught me everything I know, and my wife and daughter.
Alrighty, Harold Wilson, thank you very much for coming up here. Your race winner of round 2 here at Coda. Go celebrate that man. Alrighty, let's bring up here your P2 finisher here at Coda, and I do want to have a chat with him. Jaden Newson, let's bring him up here. P2 finisher here at Coda. Jaden, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
There we go. Got you loud and clear, Jaden. Obviously, some frustration has to be there. Walk me through that. At around 19 laps to go or so, contact with Charlie Jones. It looked like it wasn't that much, and of course, then we saw that big damage, Meeple flag shown, and that was the race ender. Talk me through that whole scenario.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The first like I don't know what the math is, probably like 60% of the race was just fantastic. I absolutely had a blast battling with Harold and Colby. I thought it was super fun. I thought our swap overs and passes and losing each other and catching back up was just phenomenal. It was so much fun. And then here come the lap cars, right? So it, it's on the screen. You saw it. They have a blue flag displayed on their screen, and as the rules state, if you're a lap car and you are shown the blue flag, you have to move out of the way for the car that is quicker than you behind, right?
Fair enough. Fair
That did
enough.
not happen, and it didn't happen to me twice, and it ended up with me getting hooked and with someone taking away the inside line, missing the corner, and destroying my right front tire. Sorry. So when Charlie made contact with me, it must have been like wheel to wheel because it gave me a meatball flag instantly, and I couldn't turn left at all. The right front tire was totaled. And I especially like I don't want to be using like I don't know how to explain this. Davin is a champion, and then he pulls off this. Like it's just, I'm not very happy personally. So that's just how I see it.
And we talked about it during the race that this could be a potential, but do you see this, or would you want it, I guess I should say, to potentially take this to race control to verify if there will be any penalties given 2 weeks from now on at Phoenix?
Oh, absolutely. Because you know what? I'm like, I'm pretty close to just not being here at Phoenix. So yeah, like it's just almost week after week, and it's the same prospects every single time. Or suspects, sorry. Um, and like I don't know what to say anymore. Like I'm doing everything I can. I race as clean as I can. They came over the radio and started blaming me for wrecking Harold on lap one. I noticed during the entire race when I was racing Harold through the S's that he carried a lot more speed through there. Happened quite a few times, but I think he said no harm, no foul. So um, all is good there. But yeah, like just I don't even know what to say, man.
All right. Nonetheless, of course, with all the drama and the contact that happened, that is a strong P2 finish for you here at Coda. Great racing action that you did there with Harold Wilson. Is there any final shoutouts that you would like to do?
I want to thank my team. We had the whole squad out here. We ran some matching paint schemes, pretty cool, all the different colors. But yeah, no, I just love those guys. And you, Dwayne, you're awesome. I want to thank my sponsors, Ken Racing and ASL, for sponsoring me here. And yeah, just That's it, I guess. I
Alrighty, thank you very much for coming up here,
feel
Jaden
like I should be
Newsom.
more happy about a second place finish, but
Jaden
thank you,
Newsom,
Dwayne.
you're welcome very much. Your P2 finisher here at Coda. Good luck 2 weeks from now at Phoenix. Alrighty, let's get up here. Your P3 finisher, Carter Roy up here. His best finish so far of the season. Carter Roy, let's come up here. P3 finish for you. How you feeling?
Honestly, I'm extremely surprised with my outcome, but I mean, I held in there.
And I was gonna say, road courses not really your expertise, but you came into Austin, Texas here, tried your best, and you pulled a top 3 finish and managed to stay ahead during in P3 and managed to outdrive the rest of the field behind you. How do you feel about that solid P3 finish at a road courses of all places?
Yeah, road course especially definitely not my forte, but it was a very surprising outcome, and I went into this race just looking for, podium position. So goal accomplished. Couldn't be happier, I guess. I mean, maybe if I got second or first, but still extremely happy with podium position. Put in a lot of practice. Just consistent, really. I mean, I just try to stay as consistent as possible and just held in there. I had a couple times where I think I got into the wall once, and then I got some fresh tires. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was just pretty easy from there, I think.
And we've seen more and more improvement on that 21 car there on the Ford machine. Do you think that this season, maybe this season, that you get your first race win here of the Shake and Bake Cup Series?
I'm definitely feeling it. It's definitely up there in the air. I can smell it. So I'm thinking here. I think I might get Phoenix. I got really high hopes for that. So hopefully I'm in luck in my first
Alrighty, thank you.
win there.
Alrighty, thank you for coming up here, Carter. Your P3 finisher here at Coda rounds off the podium. And is there any final shoutouts that you would like to do?
My teammates, Jaden, making my awesome paint scheme for this race, but just my teammates, really, anybody watching out there that's supporting me, I guess. But that's it.
Alrighty, again, thank you for your time. Wish you the best of luck going into Phoenix 2 weeks from now.
Thank you.
Cabin Motorsports was looking very drippy today with those paint schemes. It was a very, very icing thing to see. Let's get up here. Carter Brockmeyer now. P4 finisher. Back-to-back Carters. Brockmeyer here. P4 finisher here. Carter, can you hear us?
Yep. Yep.
There you go. Carter Brockmeyer obviously had a couple issues on track. There was a ton of spins involved, but you still managed to find yourself a P4 finish, even though you were a lap down. Talk me through that experience here at Coda.
Well, I think it was about 15 laps into the race. I caught up to Carter. He spun once. I passed him. He got back around me. I spun. Went 7 seconds behind him. Then, as I was 7 seconds behind him, I ran him down, got in gravel, spun. And then I ran him back down, and then lap traffic. And then I ran him back down, and then I spun again, then needed tires, and then got a penalty, and kind of just all fell apart from there.
And we said multiple times that this was
So
going to be...
I just kind of ran out of my luck from...
Yeah, we said multiple times it's going to be a pretty hard challenge here at Coda, especially with the conditions of the track itself. There was a ton of debris there with the sand and everything. But overall, how do you feel about your finishing result with all those conditions being in place?
I honestly was expecting not that, because I started 10th. I hit the grass on my first lap of qualifying, and then the second lap I just messed up my brake bias. I bumped it, and it just kind of messed it up. But in total, I think everyone did good for such a crappy race in these cars. There was a few drivers that act like they own the track, and I don't think they were in the right. But it's a part of racing. People will be people, and you can't do anything about it. You just got to learn how to adapt to them, and sometimes you got to check up and slow down for them and all that.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time up here. Your P4 finish here at Coda. Is there any final shoutouts that you would like to do?
I like to shout out everyone. I know some had to leave the race early. Some just kind of got tired of it, but it was a hard track. I get it for every bystander or thing. It's just part of racing. Can't do much about it. Move on to next week or the week after. I forgot if next week's a break.
Yeah, it is a bye week next week, and then
But yeah, it's just keep moving forward. Yeah, that's what I thought. But you just got to keep moving forward, keep hitting the tracks for practice, and push through it. It'll all work out in the end. I hope. Obviously, Ludi couldn't make it today. I'm gonna try to get him a win next week. Hope we both finish up front.
alrighty. Thank you very much for your time here. Carter Brockmeyer, P4 finisher here at Austin, Texas. Good luck 2 weeks from now at Phoenix for you and your team.
Thank.
Alrighty, let's get up here. Final post race interview of the night. Braden Barlow. It's a P6 finish for him. Braden, can you hear us?
Yep, I got you.
There we go. Braden, just like Brockmeyer, of course, the most challenging track that we have had so far in the Shake and Bake Cup series. Tons of spins everywhere, tons of wrecks everywhere, tons of debris. Talk me through that experience. You still managed to get a P6 finish, outlasting some of the people that were a lap down after you. How do you feel about your performance here at Coda and with all those conditions in place?
I'm just happy that I just finished the race, to be honest with you. I practiced pretty hard all week. I just could not figure this track out until probably yesterday. I finally started to get some clean laps, but man, I'm just thankful we got a P6 finish, got some points. I was hoping for a P5, got up there with Davin, and unfortunately I just spun once or twice and I just couldn't catch back up to him. But overall, pretty good race. I think our whole team did pretty well today. Definitely a learning experience here with the road course. Not exactly my expertise, but I'm glad we walked away with some points, and hopefully we can keep trucking along through the rest of the season.
Like you said, maybe not the best result, but still a great points day for you, and that will put you still in the P4 of the championship standings. With that in mind, how do you feel going into Phoenix Raceway?
Yeah, I feel pretty good at Phoenix. I've run there with some of the ARCA cars, and I feel pretty good with those. I haven't run there in the Cup, so it's probably gonna be a little bit different challenge. But I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a great race. There's Phoenix definitely opens up a lot of opportunities, especially with the dog leg. It can definitely get you can go 7 wide, and so it's going to get very interesting, I think, when we get there, and just hopefully we can get another good finish. Hopefully get a win, but if not me, then hopefully one of my teammates.
Alrighty, thank you for your time up here in the booth. Is there any final shoutouts that you would like to do?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Barlow's Garage and Graphics and 52 and Co for sponsoring the car throughout the rest of the season. Definitely excited to get them on board. And then just like to thank my teammates. We all worked pretty well, just talking like strategy and just like trying to help each other out when we can. Yeah, Comet Motorsports is definitely looking up. I think we are definitely gonna have a great team this year.
Alrighty, thank you very much for your time here. P6 finish for you. Wishing you the best of luck going into Phoenix.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and that will be it for tonight. What an eventful day it was here at Circuit of the Americas. Chaos everywhere, drama everywhere. It was definitely a sight to see. There on the screen is your finishing results once again. Harold Wilson picking up his first race win of Season 3 here at COTA. His second win overall of the Shake and Bake Cup Series. And once again, this is how the standings shape up after round 2. Harold Wilson from P7 all the way to the championship lead after round 2. Colby Lucas stays in second, and it's Jaden Newson and Braden Barlow with Carter Brockmeyer rounding off the top 5 of the championship standings. Next week will be our first bye week, so no racing next week, unfortunately, but 2 weeks from now, tune in. Round 3 should be an exciting one. Phoenix Raceway in Arizona definitely has produced some exciting racing, especially in Season 1, of course, our title decider. Season 2 was also very good. Jaden Newson picked up the win last season here at Phoenix, but we'll see how it has for us this season 2 weeks from now at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. That being said, that is all today here from Austin, Texas. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe to continue on with the action of Season 3. With that being said, my name is Stuart Crespo Vibes on YouTube. That will be it for today. Signing off from COTA. And a good night to all of you guys watching. Peace out, guys.
Hey, Dwayne.